what happened. Based off of my last video, I can't remember the last video I made to be real with you, but I know that um, I was taking big losses again, and uh, I had honestly I had fell into under the PDT rule again for I don't know how many times, and I kind of just said, "Hey, fuck it, I don't want to trade for a while." I think I took a week off, got back in, still wasn't performing well, um, and got back to the position where I had to realize that um, I needed to focus on the small things. Um, my account was just diminishing little by little, and I couldn't fund my account again over the PDT because I was just, it was like I was putting money into a black hole. So I had transferred some of my money to, um, I have been investing in Dogecoin, um, made large returns, and then decided to take every dollar I had in my trading account, my day trading account, and put that into Dogecoin as well to try to double, triple, quadruple my money. It's currently went up to 60 cents today, but pulled back to 50.49. We'll see if it continues to uptrend, and I'll look for a spot to enter. So I'm giving trading a break, but not a break. I'm starting back from the beginning, um, kind of. As far as my studying, I'm going to continue going forward, but with trading, I'm going back to the beginning. Um, but here I go into this trade paper. This is all paper trade, by the way. Um, but here I go into this trade. I don't even think I'm gonna put this video up on YouTube or just have it in my privates. I don't know, but we'll see. Something smells like it's burning. Um, so I was looking at my scanner, and nothing was really catching my eye. But this was the biggest percent gainer for the day. I was watch. I don't. I took off my market data subscription as well, so I don't have it over tools or just market data. Period. So I had to watch it on Yahoo Finance. Go back to Yahoo Finance, and I'll show you like my entries and exit points, as you can see a little bit right here. But I looked up this stock. It was the biggest percent gainer of the day. Um, it was like at 100 when I was watching it, or at 90% for the day. I did not look at the news at all, so this would be my first time. Well, after this, the float was 51 million at the time that I looked, and it still is 51 million. So that's a low, not a low float, but you know, it just gives me an idea. Never looked at the news. Don't know what the news is about. Pretty much, it had a so it's COVID news, which I don't really give a fuck about. I don't think COVID news is going to push up the market as much anymore because they got the vaccine and all that. And I never look at the news really. I just be looking for offerings. At the time, I didn't look for an offering um, because there was no shares to short, so I didn't even bother looking at the offering. But as you can see, they have an offering right here that's active, but they activated it um, back in August. So most likely, if I look at the yearly chart, um, I ain't even do all that, but if I look at the yearly chart, you can tell back in August they've been dumping shares clearly. So when I first looked at the stock, I looked at the yearly chart and I'm like, um, I would short this stock. But then I looked at the volume here, and the volume was at 250 million. And I compared it to all these other days or times that it spiked up, and the volume. on all these spikes were nowhere near close to the volume today. So I had to ask myself, and I was like talking to myself in third person, um, uh, or second person, or third person, I don't really know. But I was looking at it, I'm like, okay, the only way for this to really spike past all these resistance points is for it to have a lot of volume and possibly a high catalyst, or just a high catalyst and a lot of volume. They both go together. But it can go up with a lot of volume and no catalyst. So comparing it to all these spikes, none of these went past like 25 million, I think. None of these days went past 25 million. So to see this today at 250 million, um, I think it's 250 million. Yeah, so to see it today at 250 million, um, yeah. So right now it's at 400 million, but to see it today at 250 million on volume, I was like, okay, this shit can shoot up. So looking at the yearly chart, I mean the daily chart, the intraday chart actually, I had already missed the spike from 9:30 to 11, whatever. So it was consolidating, and I'm watching it here, and I'm like, okay, I gotta, if I'm gonna get in, and I realized this, like, it was holding, it was holding, it had support here and here, and I don't know exactly where I got in. Okay, so on a two pullbacks, I saw support here and here, which is, and this is a better chart to see it, but here and here is where I saw the support. And I'm watching it on this chart on Yahoo Finance, not Interactive Brokers, and I kind of chased it just a little bit, but I saw the support. I'm like, okay, as long as it doesn't break 247, I'm good. So I entered my first entry at, it would tell me, I don't know why this is not telling me where I entered. But just not entered around these points. Each time it pulled back a little bit, I entered. So my average was, at first it was $2.59, but as I continue to add, um, here around high 60s, high 60s, probably low 70s, um, my average became $2.67. At this point, I had to move up my risk, because at first I wanted to risk at 247, which was about a, I think it was like $100 risk, or a little bit over $100 risk. But as I continued to add over here, I got up to 2,700 shares. I had to up my risk, and I upped it to 251. Then I upped it to, and I'm upping it based off of these points where it goes down. So I upped it to 258 at the end of the day. Um, I upped it to 258, 257 at the end of the day. I sized in a little too big, and I chased it a little bit, but I sat there and I waited, and I had to be smart about it. The whole time I wasn't emotional at all. Maybe because because I'm paper trading, but more of um, because I'm just not thinking about the money. The whole time I was thinking about risk to reward ratio, which has been helping me a lot. Be focused and disciplined with the trade. So when I first entered somewhere around here the first time with 1,000 shares, it pushed up, I think, right here, and I was up. 2 to 1. And I was like, okay, yes, I need to get out because I'm up 2 to 1, which is the risk to reward ratio I'm looking for, 2 to 1, 3 to 1. But my exit strategy and my whole plan on this trade wasn't to just buy here, buy low, sell high here. It was to buy low and sell on a breakout up here, as you can see, the breakout. So um, I didn't want to sell. As it kept pulling back, I saw that it kept holding support each level that it pulled back. So when it came down here, it pushed up but pulled back and held support. Support was right here and right here, and it held above support here, and then it pushed up, held support above here, and pushed up again, came back down, held support. So each time it held support, it was higher each level. So I'm seeing this and I'm like, okay, it's gonna break out to a higher level. I'm not just trading this randomly and not without knowing what I'm doing. I'm seeing the chart is telling me what's about to happen. Now I'm gonna put my money where my mouth and my thoughts are and trade it in the trend that I think is gonna go to. Um, so what happened after here? So after I added in, I my average was $2.67, and I was risking. I think I was risking. At first, I was risking about $270 at 10-cent risk at $2.57. But then I started seeing it pull back, and I got a little scared a little bit. I got a little bit of motion, but I corrected myself. And I'm like, what if it breaks past this point and then I lose big? And I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna take that risk. And I changed my average back down to um, right here of $2.50. So I was risking $500 in total. I'm not comfortable with losing $500. That wasn't part of my plan, but um, what can I say? I mean, when you chase and you add um, incorrectly, you open yourself up to more risk. And that's what happened. So I wanted to give this more time, so I changed my risk and my stop limit order to 250, and then I entered alerts. I entered alerts here at 250 and 292, the breakout level. Um, and then it just started uptrending, broke past 292. My alerts were going off, and I completely forgot about the $3 the whole dollar risk level. Completely forgot about that. It struggled to get past $3. Then it pushed up and went to 220, and I sold at three. It went to 320, and I sold at 315 because I knew it was going to pull back. As you can see here, it's going to spike up and pull back. And if you look at the yearly chart, it's the same fucking thing. So I sold as soon as it pushed up. I didn't wait for it to. I didn't wait for it to continue spiking, and I ended up making 1,277 for the day. So that's a that's a what is that? What is that? If you're looking at it from the 10-cent risk that I had, that's a one, two, three, four. That's a 4 to 1 risk reward. But realistically speaking, that's me risking from $2 and right here $2.57. But really, I had changed my risk, and now I'm risking from $2.51 or 50 cent. So I had the 4-to-1 risk reward, but I changed it, and now it was a almost a 3-to-1 risk reward since I changed my risk, and I made 3-to-1, or almost 3-to-1, and I profited $1,277 for the day. Yesterday I traded RHE. Don't even remember how I traded it, but I took $100 loss. I wasn't really trading it correctly, and I ended up losing. Got back in at a better point, a more realistic point, and it uptrended it big, and I could have made way more money, but I got out with that $100 loss instead of the $500 loss that I had originally. But that's my trade for the day. Of course, RHE could have done better today. I could have been done better. When it broke past 3, I sold, and then when it came down, I was gonna get back in. Then I saw that it pulled back and broke past this support level right here. But that, I'm like thinking to myself, that's not really a support level. But I didn't want to get back in and risk the money that I made. So now I don't also don't want to sit through all this choppiness like I was doing here. Um, I don't want to sit through all this shit. So yeah, bro. I didn't get back in. I'm cool with the amount of money that I made, and I could have done better. But I'm proud that I'm improving. I'm going to get back into the game of day trading, but I can't keep losing money like this. So I'm gonna keep trying to improve and improve and improve, and then yeah. So